So I found one of the water spigots. It's turned on. I'm at capacity with water. I've got my pot filled up, all 3 liters, and then I'm going to fill up the bladder again too. So I'm going to leave here with less than half a mile to go with 7 liters, because that way I can drink as much as I possibly want tonight and in the morning and still leave with enough to get me to the next water source tomorrow, which is at least 12 miles in. So I want to leave with a bunch. Picked up a bunch of the trash that was around this picnic table, including getting my own trash out. Because over there's a pit toilet that I don't need to use, but there are trash cans. So I figured while I was waiting for my water to filter, I picked up a bunch of the trash that some of the slobs left around here. So doing my good deed for the day. Here we are at the beginning. So it's a lava tube, as you can see, with stairs built down into it. Right about here, I can feel a significantly different temperature. Very pleasantly cool. And a lot of people in the comments have talked about bringing a flashlight, which I thought sounded silly because I assumed it just like walk down to here. But now I'm under the impression you can actually walk all the way through it. Oh, this is way more significant than I was expecting. So that little nook in there, you could easily park a car in. One with a good ground clearance. Just to give you an idea of the depth, probably about 40 feet in. The air is pleasant in here, but not freezing cold, I would say. If I had to guess, maybe mid-50s or so. Way nicer than outside. Oh, this really goes back pretty far. There were some signs by the parking lot that said, please only use battery-powered light sources. And again, I misunderstood, right? I thought it was just a little thing you poke your head into. That looks like it's its own little cavern, but that looks like it's the dead end. But I guess what they really were saying is don't bring a freaking torch in here. And that makes way more sense now. And also the name makes way more sense why they're calling it the Subway Cave. I'm curious how far back this actually goes. And I was about to say, I wish that I was recording it on my GPS, but under all this ground and rock, there is no way that I would get any GPS signal. Any minute I'm waiting for my InReach Mini to chirp at me that it can't get a good connection to the sky. It makes like a funny error noise. Oh, it's not funny. It makes a significant chirping noise when it can't get a signal out. And sometimes if it's really thick trees, or if you're in like a AT style lean-to, it'll do that. But you know where it'll definitely do that? In a gigantic cave. Oh, there's a little map for you. Very, very cool. And here we are, out the other side. We made it. I wanted to include some footage that's a little bit different from the normal stuff that I do. And I thought about it, and right now I'm not even out of my tent for the morning yet. But I figured I'd show kind of what my inside looks like, because it's pretty routine for me. So I usually have that black hat there, or if it's cold, I'll keep the hood or my orange hat, the really warm one, there, so I can reach over into that corner and put it on in the dark if I wake up chilly, which happens most nights. It didn't last night because it's not that cold here. This is my little organizer that I keep all of my chargers and stuff in. And I usually keep that in here mainly because the earplugs that I use, which I keep in this pocket, I also keep the phone in this pocket when I sleep, go in here. The mouth guard case is usually up somewhere by the top of my head, so when I wake up in the morning I can just put the mouth guard in there before I wash it. And then I keep my watch down here on the floor. But the main reason for that is when you move it around, there's these green lasers. And if you put that up in here and you roll over, it can shake and it projects a green light out. There might be a way to turn that off, but I've never figured it out, so I just keep it there. Same thing, so if I need to check what time it is, or if I'm just curious, I can reach up with my left hand and it's right there. I've deflated the pillow already, but it's normally connected to that. Sleeping bag, and then I always keep my sleeping bag, tent, and stake bags rolled up in the pocket by my feet, just so I know where it is in case I have to pack up in the dark. And in this case, I currently have my headphones there too. So most of the time, I like to sit on my pad like I am doing right now, out one of the doors, and you can see I've exploded my food. So this is one more dinner's worth of food and a breakfast, actually. So I have like kind of a half day's worth of food in there that I probably didn't need to pack, but I would rather have too much than too little. I always drink some kind of caffeine to get me going for the day, especially so I don't get headaches. In this case, this is the first time that I found these Whole Foods brand instant espresso. Normally I do 2 packets of some kind of caffeine, but I find these to be a little bit on the weaker side, so I've been doing 3. And I don't love them as much as I was hoping I would, so I probably won't buy them again. And also, I've only ever seen one Whole Foods on any long-distance backpacking trip, and that was in South Lake Tahoe. Electrolyte packet that I plan on drinking later today. Sort of 2 different piles. There's sort of pile over there and pile over there. The first one goes mostly in the back pocket of my backpack for lunch, which is the nuts and the cookie at the top. Try to fit most of that stuff in my left hip belt pocket, and then most of that stuff in my right hip belt pocket. And then my trash, I'll of course clean all of the wrappers and stuff up. And then I have things that go back into the top of my food bag afterwards, like the stove, toothpaste bits, medicine, and more drink packets. This side over here, I kind of do something similar. I zipped the vestibule partway down this time, because I actually did wake up to a few sprinkles. I could hear them on the tent. They were very, very light, but I zipped that down to keep my stuff on that side dry in case it rained, and it never really did. But anyway, came in and out that way, shoes, and then backpack. And that's already longer than I wanted it to be. So I'm just putting my pack on for the day, and there has definitely been something chewing. None of this was there last night. So there's definitely something probably trying to get the sweat or something off of this, which is really unfortunate. It's not all the way through, but not ideal. This side is completely fine, thankfully. Kind of works out decent for me, I'd say, because I have a replacement hip belt in Mount Shasta, which is roughly 4 days from walking from here, so that's really fortunate, because this one had a piece of the connecting metal clips break, so the replacement was already sent out. But still, really surprising and kind of a bummer. So this is it's called Lesson Peak. And so for a while I've been walking around that, and the snow on it made me think maybe it was Mount Shasta. And the closer I got, the more I realized it wasn't. But for the first time, I'm seeing that big snowy guy. And so that one, I bet, is Mount Shasta. So this next bunch of footage is showcasing the Burney Mountain Guest Ranch. And I had an amazing stay here. I was blown away. So I just wanted to dedicate a good chunk of this video showing you how amazing this place is, how good of a time I had, and how kind and outgoing the owners are. I'm just getting to the Burney Mountain Guest Ranch. And there's been a lot of people really speaking highly of it. So I'm excited to meet the owners. It's a fun light post. I guess, yeah, it's got a light on it. It's a light post. So it's a beautiful facility. I just got a shower. My clothes are in the washer. Already I've seen 2 deer. The largest rabbit I've ever seen in my life was over there. Looked like a small coyote the way it was running. I saw a flock of like what I think are some kind of mountain quail over there too. Oh, here's another big rabbit. Huge. So here's the washing station. There's 2 washing machines in there and whatever they call that. Not a heavy duty sink, but like a utility sink. Charging station. The property itself is very beautiful. There's mountain views behind these buildings. This over here is the camping area. So a lot of these wood chipped areas are designed to accommodate tents. Everything's hanging dry, but oh, that's my gator on the ground. Suppose if I want anything, or if I need to have, oh no, it's not. Somebody else's gator. Put it up here. It's the same exact one, but there. Mine are right there. I'm sure you care so much watching this, but anyway. Looking off this way here. It's an awesome spot, very pretty. So this is my cabin over here, and that is a huge buck. The rack on that guy. So this is my bunk room. So there is a swamp cooler up there, so there is some climate control for the heat. This has its own private bathroom. So this, well, it's shared, I guess, but it's separate from what all the tenters are using. They have a porta potty, and there's a shower house that has 2 showers in it, but this is just for us in here. And it's only me and one other person, so we get this whole place to ourselves. I'm gonna go try to do my food resupply and see what they have to offer for that. You can sign up for dinners and breakfasts here, and it's kind of buffet style, and it was really, really good food. The resupply here was very good. They had a great selection of hiker-specific things, and this is the owner. She was such a sweet person. I had an amazing time here. Well, I'm sad to leave, but the Burney Mountain Guest Ranch is one of the nicest places that I've ever stayed on any through hike. The hosts are extremely, extremely kind, super outgoing, very friendly and accommodating. The pool is amazing, the views are amazing, the wildlife. I'm very impressed. I came into this place with high expectations from all the praise, and I'm still blown away. So If you see this, definitely consider supporting the Burney Mountain Guest Ranch. So it looks like an osprey in this nest. It's a nice view of Mount Shasta. It's a very bold Bambi right here, eating leaves. They like to hang out around the campsites because the urine has salt in it and they go nuts for the salt. And there's actually a really nice campsite right here. And by really nice, I mean it's very pretty. There's some huge fir trees and a couple flat spots, but anyway, that's my guess. Obviously there's water, deers drink. She's up there moving around, but anyway. So I have to admit, I'm really surprised that with the PCT being so popular and allegedly able to be ridden horseback from end to end, and how overgrown the trail is. And I don't mean that as a knock against volunteers. I just thought for some reason there would be a much bigger volunteer sort of base, or clubs or something that would really cut this stuff back. And I don't mean to sound like entitled and demanding, because there's nothing stopping me from volunteering to clear it either. I just didn't think that so much of the trail would be like this. Obviously it's slow going, but also it's a little scratchy, and I saw my 7th rattlesnake yesterday. I haven't seen one since like the Tehachapi area. So it makes me a little nervous when I'm walking through this stuff and I can't see my feet. But yeah, I think I would go as far to say that in my personal experience, the PCT is by far the least maintained of the Triple Crown. Even the CDT, I saw so many work crews out clearing blowdowns, or volunteers out snipping stuff, and this just isn't. So I'm just surprised is all. Again, not really trying to complain, but just really surprised.